Hi, Joe Doyle here. As a former bricklayer turned property investor, I would not be where I am today if I didn't first learn the art of business. Nowadays, a big part of my life is helping other tradesmen succeed with their business by sharing my knowledge, insights and experience. Welcome to the Tradesman Support Group podcast.
Hello, Joe.
Mr. Andy.
Yep.
How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, not bad. Yourself?
I'm doing good, man. So, Andy, what part of the world are you from?
Southeastern England.
Okay, south east. Right. Okay. So is that like a rural part, or is that a nice part, or is that a city part? Give us a little bit of education on that.
Yeah, it's like a central Kent, really. It's about an hour away from London. Yeah, bit of everything, really. It's like, say, an hour on the train to London. I live just in a small village outside of a main town, so yeah, it's quite nice, really.
Brilliant, good stuff. So, what I wanted to chat to you about a few things, get a few questions off you as well, right? What we like to start off with, Andy, is we want to find out why you're doing this, right? And we want to try and help you out with that, because, what I've learned in doing this work is that money is great, and we all want money and the whole lot, yeah? However, if we can connect our why to the money, the willingness or the ability to stay in the race a lot longer is greater, if that makes sense,
Yeah,
so once you know what you're doing this for, right? So we would have asked you to let us know in the comments what was your biggest reason for doing this, and then we would have also asked you what is your biggest challenge, right? So we'll have a chat about them in a minute. But I suppose you might have some questions that you want to fire off at me. So if you want to go ahead with them now, we can handle them for you, and then we can kind of flick back into our curriculum here,
Yeah, I'm sort of I'm probably the same stage as everyone else, really. Sort of, I'm a one-man band carpenter. It just seemed to never be making any money. Just working every day. It's not as though I'm not out working every day, but you just get to the end of the year and then you pay the tax man, you look at your bank account and there's no money left in it.
Yes.
And it's I don't live a lavish lifestyle, so it's not as though I'm driving around in a Ferrari or anything like that.
Yes.
It's doesn't see everything's going up, but it's my situation at the moment. I feel as though everything's going up, materials are going up, but the people's perceptions of what you're allowed to charge per day is staying the same.
Okay. An interesting point. So what is the the perceived allowable amount to charge in your neck of the woods for a carpenter?
Well, we're sort of probably around the £200 mark.
Okay, so
£180, £200.
So if a woman rang you up and says, Andy, I need to get some work done, it's probably a day's work, might be 2 days, and you said to her, okay, I charge £200 a day. So from there 1 day it's 200, from there 2 days it's 4. She wouldn't feel like you're overcharging her if you told her those numbers, yeah?
No.
Okay.
No, but I've had it in the last few weeks from a developer. We've gone in at a day rate.
Yeah.
And we've gone in, knocked our socks off as such, and he's come in and said, you guys are brilliant, you get so much work done. So we put the invoice in at 220, and he's saying we're too much. Because his perception of it should be everyone should be earning £180, £200 a day. So why are we charging $220?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And he's a developer, so he's building houses, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's well clued in to... So basically his game is paying for materials and paying for labour based on time, and then selling his product based on value, if that makes sense.
Yes, yeah.
Right. The difficulty you have is that you're selling your product, and your product is basically your labour. You're selling that based on time.
Yep.
That's really what it is. You're selling that based on time. And as long as you're willing to keep playing by that kind of equation or that rule, you're going to struggle.
Yes.
That's the absolute long and the short of it, So really what we need to do is we need to figure out a way that Andy can deliver a product, and the product has a value. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
And that's the catch. And I'll be very straight with you, Andy. Like my whole program, my whole 52 steps is all engineered around that, So look for example, Andy has paid for this call today. Okay, so you've paid for this call, but I can give value to all the other guys in the group at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yep.
You know, so when I'm chatting to lads and they're saying, well, Joe, what do I get for my money with you? Well, you get to do phone calls with me, but you also get to listen into the calls with the other guys. And that's my way of giving value to other people without it actually costing me time. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
So let's look at it in your sense. You're doing typical, all sorts of typical carpentry work, yeah?
Yes, all aspects, yeah.
Okay, so when you go in to do a room, let's say you do a small job, you go in to do laminated flooring and skirtings in the room, and you're in and out in 4 hours, and the client's like, that's a nice job, and you say, give me £200, and they're like, fuck, £200 for 4 hours? That was pricey, because they had all the materials, yeah?
Yes.
Right, so that's straight away, the people are looking at you doing this job on an hourly basis, right? Now,
Yes.
let's say the client rings you at 12 in the night and they say, Andy, there's water coming through my roof. Can you come down and help me? And you're like, yeah, no problem. I'll be down. And then you get up and down, and then the roof is fixed, and you say, that's £200.
Yes.
Now they're looking at what you've delivered for them rather than the manner in which you delivered it. Does that make sense?
Correct, yeah.
Because
I see where this is going, yeah.
they're now like, whoa, like if he didn't stop that water coming in, it would have been a ceiling damage, it would have been a floor damage, it would have been this, it would have been that, you know. So they are valuing you on the solution you brought rather than the time you spent.
Yes.
And if you keep trying, that's not you specifically, but this is, you know, most people in the group here, if you keep putting yourself in a situation where you are pricing a job based on the time you spend, you're always going to be running up against this problem.
Yeah, that's what I was say. The last phone call I had with you, that's the sort of situation it is. It's just going round and round in circles, and ending up at the same spot again.
And you know what some crazy people in this group have done, right? They're like, Joe, I told a woman I need to make 500 a day. She told me to fuck off. I'm like, you know what? She is 100% dead right, you know? Because I'm not saying that you should be hiding from people what you're making, but you must deliver value to someone on their terms that they perceive it to be worth paying you 500 a day, you know? So that's the little trick that we need to look at, you know? And until we fix that, Andy, we're going to have the same problem.
Yep.
So that is the question, right? So you told us the biggest challenge in your business was making profit, which obviously links back to this, right?
Yes.
So let's have a conversation around that, yeah? So it's all kind of going into the one here. You've got plenty of work on. You've no issue attracting work at 200 a day.
No.
But you can't attract something more.
Yeah, right. It just needs like the extra, not the certain clientele really of like I say, who perceive my value to be worth more.
What do you perceive your value to be at?
250 easy.
Okay, right. So don't ever lower your value. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you believe you're worth 250 and you genuinely believe you're worth 250, right? Well, let me ask you a question here. Why are you worth 250 but the guy next to you is worth 200?
Because I'm better than him.
But he's brilliant.
No.
Okay, tell me.
No, what I'm saying is I'm seeing a lot at the moment. Like I say, especially in the southeast of England, like the going rate is £180, £200. I'm going to so many jobs now where there's Joe Bloggs from down the road going in to do a job. I was at a job last week, funnily enough. The customer paid £700 to have her internal doors done, and it looked like a 5-year-old had done it. And we had to go in there, take all the doors off, and refit them.
Okay.
Because we were £10 a door more expensive to hang them.
Yeah. Okay. So what I would suggest to yourself, right, and this is just a little idea, and we'll figure this out soon enough, right? I don't even know if this is the right thing to say to you, but like don't perceive you to be worth more than the other guy just because he's bad at what he does, right? Perceive you to be worth more than the other guy because you're good at what you do. Does that make sense? Like,
yes, yeah.
Okay, that's chances are Andy's not the only carpenter in the world that can hang a door, and we just got a fucking tool of a lad, and that's how we end up doing that, right? So that still doesn't justify why Andy's worth 250. So what does Andy give? What does Andy give that other people don't give? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. However, if we do that, we're still playing the time for money trade-off here, right? So,
correct.
Let me give you a quick example here. A painter is, the painters get a bit of grief on site because people, if you can piss, you can paint, That's the whole thing that, they always take the piss out of the painters, right?
Yeah.
And if a painter rocks up and he says it's £200 a day and it's going to take 3 days to do the job, plus the materials another 200, so it's £800 to do the job, it's 3 days.
Yeah.
The woman of the house, which are generally deal with the woman, is saying, well, I could get my husband to do it at the weekend and he'd do it over 2 weekends and I'm sure he'd do it okay of a job, right? And listen, it's okay, right? That's the way they're thinking, right? Because they believe that doing that job themselves is not beyond them, right? But let's just say the job was spray painting a kitchen and the guy walks in, he says, yeah, listen, we'll take your doors away to the workshop and we'll bring them back 3 days later. It's going to cost £1,000. They know that it's not within their skill set. The client does not have it within their skill set to do that job themselves, yeah? And
yes,
we're taking the products away and we're bringing them back. So they're not looking at it as somebody spending hours. They're looking at it as a job done complete, So what can we do? What type of work can Andy do that doesn't have him going after time for money scenarios, So
yeah, that's the struggle, because let's say most of my stuff is like kitchen installs and hanging doors, skirting architraves, and fitting bedroom furniture and stuff like that. And decking,
who provides the materials?
I'm finding more and more now that obviously everyone's trying to cut everybody out. Like the customers, like, I want to buy the materials, so they think they're trying to save there as well. So they're trying to get everybody on a day rate. So it's like, oh, don't do how much per day. They're asking how much for it, like how much do I charge a day, and then I'll charge materials. So I can't make a markup on materials because they want to do it. It's almost so. And to be honest, some of them jobs I just like, look, I'm not interested.
Okay, so give me an example of one job.
Done a decking job 2 weeks ago, and the bloke was just basically like you can do it on day rate, and I'll get the materials.
Okay, well, why don't you?
Because he knows he can go direct to the merchants and get the price.
Okay, so what would happen if you charge him a square meter price?
It'd probably try and backwork it and say, look, no, because you'll make a markup on materials.
No, but what if you charge him a square meter for labour only?
Well, yeah, £200 a day.
No, but that's time. So if we don't square meters.
I didn't work it out square meters.
See, this is the first point towards getting away from where you're at, yeah? We charge £15 per square meter to lay flooring, and that includes the fitting of the skirtings as well. We charge £12 per square meter of the decking, and that includes this as well. We charge this amount, and that includes that as well. We charge this amount, and if you get any cracking or settlement in it, you give me a call and I'll go back.
Yeah.
If you want to pay day rate, you pay day rate. If you want to pay square meter rate, you get a guarantee that we'll go back at any amount of time.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Just to give it a little tweak, because I don't honestly believe that all the customers want to provide the materials, right?
No, not all.
But it could be a chance that all the clients that you attract want to buy the materials.
Yes.
So you should look at that, and if I'm getting someone in to do a job, I'll be happy to kind of talk to them on day rates, yeah? Like a fella says to me, it might even be someone in the group here, said, Joe, would you pay a tradesman $500 a day? I said, I wouldn't, my fuck. And he's like, well, why are you telling people to do that? Oh, actually, you know what it was? It was a roofer. This is actually crazy. I was telling the roofer why he should charge 500 quid a day, and my roof needed a bit of work, and he was trying to charge me 500 quid. I'm like, get the fuck out of it. I'm not paying you that. And he's like, well, why are you telling us to charge that? I was like, because you can charge that to people who don't know what I know and don't have the contacts I know, but you're not fucking I'm in the trade, so I'll pay it at day rate, you know. But not everybody would be like that. Bear in mind, if you were to do a survey of your clients, or if you were to do a survey of a test group of clients and said, have you ever been charged day rate by a tradesman and then felt that they just dragged the job onwards purely to get more days? I bet if you said that, a lot of people would say yes. And they would be much happier with a square metre rate.
Yes, so they know where they stand.
So they know where they stand from the absolute outset. Yeah, particularly with decking. We'll do decking for €10. I don't know, I'm just picking the number here. We'll do decking for €10 or £10. 200 Japanese yen, doesn't give a fuck, right? We'll do it for X amount per metre. If it takes us 1 day or 10 days, we don't give a fuck. We'll stand over our rate. You know, and then and then you've got weather and all that, you know. So I would suggest, Andy, right? And what we do is we'll have another call in a few weeks, right? Or we'll have another call in about a week, right? And we'll go over a few more details here now today, right? Because we've only got 20 minutes for this call, but we can book in another one for. There's loads of places for Monday or Tuesday, right? But okay. I think the first thing that you should probably get into your head, right, is stop charging per day and start charging per unit.
Okay.
Right. So the natural progression would be for Andy to provide everything to do the decking, for example, and just say that's $3,000 for that job. And Andy makes a few quid on the materials, and he makes a few quid on his labour, and he makes a few quid on the labour of his employee, yeah?
Yep.
But let's start that progression. So we're going to go away from day rate, and we're going to charge per square metre. And then eventually we're going to go away from square metre rate to we only do supply and fit.
Yeah.
Now, if you had the balls to go and do supply and fit right now, I'd say go for it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know if that's the right thing for you to do or not.
Yeah, I've certainly got the balls to do it. Yeah, without a doubt.
Okay, well, why don't we do this, right? Why don't we agree that there's no more day rate?
Okay.
And give me a list of the last 3 jobs that you've done, just so we can make sure that this will work.
So last 3 jobs, I'm on a kitchen refurb at the moment. That was meant to be on a price, but it's completely changed, so I've had to do that on day rate. I've had to walk away.
So that worked to your advantage being on day rate, because you would have lost money with the change on it.
Yeah, it was meant to be a kitchen refurb and turned up date on Monday, and he's ripped the whole kitchen out, and there's brand new flat pack furniture ready to go in.
Right.
So I just said, look, I can't honour the price, so I'll have to do it on day rate, or I'll have to walk away.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, what's the next job?
The decking job that I've done.
Give me the one before that then as well, and we'll just have a little chat about each of them.
That was bifold doors that I installed. So I took a front door out, or like a porch door, and put some bifold doors in there. Okay.
So you're doing kitchen refurb at how much per day?
200.
Okay, you done the decking at what?
200 again.
Okay, and then the bifold doors?
The bifold doors one was, after our conversation before, went in at 300 per day. I've basically done a price, but based it on £300 a day. And
how long did it take you?
3 days.
Okay, big set of doors for 3 days, yeah?
Yeah, it was brickworks and all sorts. It was quite a lot.
Right. How much did the decking? Many days did the decking take?
That's overrun, so we've lost out on that. That's probably 12, 13 days for 2 of us.
And so how have you lost out if you're still charging day rate?
Because he said there's day rate. It was like £200 a day. He said, well, you need to do it for £5,000, and we sort of worked it out and was like, yeah, we can do it. But the deck it's an awkward one, because the decking he's provided wasn't what he said he was. So we've gone back to him and said, look, we're going to need some more money.
So do you see what's happened here? He's asked you a day rate, and then he's rounded it up and he's nailed you down to a fixed price.
Yeah.
But in order to be, if you're going to be going for a fixed price, you need to be given a fixed price.
Yeah.
Which is higher than the day rate. So you've allowed yourself to be. Look, I'm going to be straight with you there, Andy. Could it be a case that you're a better carpenter than you are a negotiator, if you don't want me saying that to you?
Yeah, definitely.
Because that guy there has caught you twice.
Yeah.
Because he said, How much is the day? How much is a day? He said 200 quid. Okay, how many days? Okay, let's stick to that. And you can't do that.
No.
You know, if he was to give you a price and then you were making a bit of a premium, but come hail, rain or shine, you were getting the fixed price, that's fine. But you haven't been fair to yourself on that one. Does that make sense?
No, yeah. We have, as well as me and the guy that I work with, we both know that he's pulled our pants down a little bit on that one.
No, you've allowed him to pull your pants down, yeah?
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
so it's all you, right? Because if the problem is with you, guess who the solution is with?
Yeah, me.
Exactly, that's the beauty of it, right? So how many square meters is in that decking?
I think it was about 100.
Okay, let me grab a calculator here for 1 minute. So if we work that back to how many days did it take?
I think we're on about 12 and we've got another day left.
So 13, I mean, that's a terrible number. We call it 14 by 2, which is 28 by 250, right? So it should have been 7 grand. So 7 grand, and there's 100 meters in it, yeah?
Yeah.
So a job like that, your rate is 70 per meter. Simple as that. Do you follow me?
Yeah, 100%.
So now the one thing we've got from that decking job, Andy, is we've got an agreement as to what you should be charging for that type of job. Were you doing the sub decking and all that? Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do the base, the concrete, and everything?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. So now we know €70 per meter, £70 per meter.
Yeah.
Right, so, you know, rather than be moaning or anything like that, we just learn from it, you know. So
I just take that away.
Yeah, I think that if we stop pricing per day and start pricing per unit,
okay,
I think that's going to be the first thing for yourself, right? Now, you see that job there, which is the kitchen refurb?
Yeah.
You can never price that per unit because you get caught out, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
So you're going to have to try and avoid jobs like that.
Yeah.
The bifold door, good job, yeah?
Yeah.
Just going to look here, your biggest why. I'm a one-man band and 70% of my work is labour only. If I charge 500 a day, I would price myself out of my job. Oh, and my why is because I don't like the word can't. Love it. You just need to know how. No, sweet, man. So in order for you to charge 500 a day, you must produce more, you know, which means sell your labour and the labour of other people. Or you must provide materials, or you must provide a product rather than provide time, even though it takes time to provide the product. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm with you, yeah.
What other jobs do you have to price?
What, at the moment?
Yeah.
Well, last night, for example, load more internal doors, but I did push for that supply and fit as well, so I should hopefully make some on the doors as well.
Okay, that's good. So do you think that we're going to get that job?
Yeah, pretty sure, yeah.
Right, okay. How much, what way did you price them?
I went in at £65 a door to hang. And then, then supply the doors, which I'm waiting for a phone call back now, really. It's from the merchant, see how much because they went. That's another one. They went straight to a builder's merchant, said we can get them for this, so we'll supply them. And I was like, well, I might be able to get them a little bit cheaper for you, knowing that the price that they got was quite high. So if I go £5 a door less, I should be able to make some money on that as well.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, just at the same time, in that regard, Andy. Yeah, just be careful because if there's a problem with the materials, you're then liable for it. You know.
Yes.
That's what we need to be careful. Here's what I think we should do, right? I think we'll wrap this call up now in a couple of minutes. I think the minute I hang up the phone, I think you should book another call for this day, week, or Monday or Tuesday, yeah?
Okay.
Right? And between now and then, how many jobs do you have that you can price?
3, I think.
Okay, perfect.
The diary.
Okay, 3 more jobs to price. Will you go and try and price them based on unit rates, yeah?
Okay.
And here's the way it works, right? You take how much you want to make a day, which is $250 at the minute.
Yeah.
Divided by the number of days that's going to take.
Yep.
Sorry, multiply by the number of days. So if you walk in, there's a load of flooring, and I want to make $250 a day, and there's 4 days work here. Okay, that's £1,000 quid, and there's 100 meters of flooring. well, it's 1,000 quid divided by 100. I need to charge 10 quid a metre.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. And I think that would be the first move towards getting you more profitable work.
Okay.
I don't think we should even talk about anything else until we nail that, because that's very specific. It's very current to what you're dealing with right now. And I think we could get a hand on that straight away. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Will we roll with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Is that how have you been finding our 30 days?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's very very much. Yeah, some good information on there, without a doubt. Highly recommend it.
Brilliant. Well, we're only starting. Did you decide to, are you a fit man? Have you got an appetite to do our mind body wallet challenge, or are you just sticking on the woodwork end?
I am a fit man. I'm ex-military, so but it's time is my issue. I've got a little one running around as soon as I get indoors, and
yes.
like I say, working a lot, and I just want to spend a bit of time with her before she goes to sleep. And then obviously pricing jobs up in the evening. Yeah, life's quite busy at the moment.
Okay, so I'm going to write here now, discuss time next time round. On next call. Right, so if we get a little bit of profit, after that then we can look at the timing. Is that fair enough?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, let's roll with that and we go from there.
Okay, thank you very much.
Cheers, my man. Thank you.
Cheers.
See you at the top.
Take care, bye.
So guys, we have now reached the end of our 30-minute episode. Thank you very much for listening in today. If you are struggling with any aspect of your business, do not suffer in silence. All good business owners learn from the mistakes of others. And trust me, I've made a lot of mistakes before getting to where I am today. You can ask me any questions you have by reaching out to me and messaging me on Facebook by searching for the Tradesman Support Group by Joe Doyle. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.